You wake up, and the first thing you do is check your phone. Notifications, messages, updates. Your mind gets busy instantly. But something feels off. You don't notice it at first, because everything looks normal. You scroll. You reply. You watch. Hours pass. And still, something is missing. You are not alone. You talk to people. You see people. You interact all day. But when everything stops, when the screen goes dark, there is this strange silence inside you. And you feel it. That quiet emptiness, you can't explain. It's not sadness. It's not stress. It's something deeper, something harder to name. You try to ignore it. You go back to your phone. More content. More noise. More distraction. And for a moment, it works. But then, it comes back. Stronger. Heavier. Like your mind is trying to tell you something, but you don't understand the language. So you keep moving. Keep scrolling. Keep avoiding. Because facing it feels uncomfortable. And here's the truth, you don't feel disconnected all the time. Only when you stop. Only when you are alone with your own thoughts. That's when it hits you. A question you don't want to ask. Why do I feel like this? Everything in your life looks fine. No major problems. No visible issues. But inside your mind, something doesn't feel right. And the worst part is, you can't explain it to anyone. Because from the outside, you look okay. But inside, there is a gap. A distance. Like you are present, but not really there. And slowly, this feeling becomes normal. You stop questioning it. You accept it. You live with it. But what if this is not normal? What if this feeling is not random? What if your mind is reacting to something you haven't noticed yet? Because the truth is, this is not just your experience. Millions of people feel the same thing. Every single day. Connected to everyone, but understood by no one. And once you see the real reason behind this, you won't be able to ignore it again. You are not disconnected, at least, that's what it looks like. You have people. Contacts. Chats. Notifications. Your phone is never silent. Someone is always there. Talking. Posting. Reacting. So logically, you should feel connected. Right? But you don't. Because something is wrong. Not outside, inside. You are surrounded by voices, but none of them stay. They come, they go, and leave nothing behind. No depth. No impact. No real connection. And your mind feels that. Even if you don't say it. You reply to messages, but you don't feel understood. You share moments, but not your truth. You stay active, but emotionally distant. And slowly, this becomes your normal. A life full of interaction, but empty of connection. Because what you have is not real connection. It's access. People can reach you. They can see you. They can react to you. But they don't actually know you. And deep inside, your mind knows the difference. That's why, after hours of talking, you still feel alone. Not physically, but mentally. Because connection is not about presence. It's about depth. And depth takes something you are not giving anymore. Time. Attention. Vulnerability. Instead, everything is fast. Instant replies, quick reactions. Surface-level conversations. Nothing stays long enough to become real. And your brain starts adapting to this. It lowers expectations. It stops looking for depth. It accepts less. But your emotions don't. They keep asking for something more. Something real. Something deeper. And when they don't get it, you feel it. That quiet emptiness, from chapter 1. Now it makes more sense. You are not disconnected, because people are missing. You feel disconnected, because meaning is missing. And this is where things get dangerous. Because your brain starts believing this is enough, while your emotions start drifting away. And when your mind and emotions stop moving together, you don't just feel disconnected from others, you start feeling disconnected from yourself. Your brain thinks everything is fine. You are active. You are connected. You are engaged. From the outside, your life looks full. So your brain says, you're okay. But your emotions disagree. They don't care about activity. They care about meaning. They care about depth. And right now, they are not getting it. This is where the conflict begins. Inside your mind, two systems start fighting. Your brain sees numbers, messages, followers, likes. It measures connection in quantity. But your emotions measure something else. Presence, understanding, realness. And when these two don't match, you feel it. That strange discomfort. That quiet emptiness. That feeling you can't explain. Because logically, you shouldn't feel this way. But emotionally, you do. And that confusion starts breaking your clarity. You begin to question yourself. Why do I feel like this? What is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is just misreading reality. It thinks exposure is connection. It thinks activity is fulfillment. But it's not. And the more you follow your brain, the more disconnected you feel. Because your brain wants stimulation. But your emotions want connection. Your brain wants speed, but your emotions want depth. And right now, you are feeding only one side. So the other side starts starving. Slowly. Silently. And this is the dangerous part, you don't notice it immediately. Because your brain keeps you busy. Scrolling. Watching. Reacting. Always something. Always noise. So you never sit long enough to feel what's missing. But when you do, even for a moment, it hits you. That silence. That gap. That disconnection. And now the question changes. It's no longer, why do I feel this way? It becomes, why can't I stop feeling this way? Because this is not random. This is not temporary. This is a pattern. And your mind is stuck in it. But what if this isn't just about your brain? What if there is a deeper reason behind this feeling, something more fundamental, something built into you? Something you've been ignoring, without even realizing it. This is not random. This is not weakness. This is not just a feeling. This is your mind, trying to tell you something important. A need you are not meeting. Maslow explained this years ago. But most people never really understood it. He said, humans don't just need food, safety, or success. They need something deeper. Something psychological. Something emotional. The need to feel that they belong. Not just around people, but connected to them. Understood by them. Accepted by them. This is called love and belonging. And this is not optional. This is not a luxury. This is a core human need, just like hunger. Just like safety. And when this need is not fulfilled, your mind reacts. Not loudly. Not immediately. But slowly and silently. It starts disconnecting. Not from the world, but from the experience of the world. You can still be around people. You can still talk. You can still function. But inside, something starts fading. Because your brain can survive without deep connection, but your identity cannot. You don't just want to be seen. You want to be understood. You don't just want interaction. You want meaning. And when that is missing, your mind creates distance. That's the feeling you've been experiencing. That quiet emptiness. That invisible gap. It's not because people are missing. It's because real connection is missing. And here's where it gets dangerous. You think you are fulfilling this need. Because you are constantly connected. But you are not. You are only simulating connection. Quick messages. Short replies. Endless scrolling. It feels like belonging. But it's not. Because belonging takes depth. Time. Presence. Emotional risk. And your current world is designed to avoid all of that. So your brain stays busy, but your deeper need stays unmet. And when a core need stays unmet, your mind doesn't stay stable. It starts adapting. Lowering expectations. Accepting less. Disconnecting more. And slowly, you stop feeling fully alive in your own life. Now think about this. What if the problem is not your life, but the level of connection inside it? What if you are not broken, but simply disconnected from something essential? Because if that's true, then everything you've been doing to fix it has been wrong. You think you are connected because you are always in touch. Messages, calls, comments, something is always happening. But ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you felt truly understood? Not replied to. Not reacted to. Understood. There is a difference. A big one. Because what you have right now feels like connection. But it isn't. It's fast. It's easy. It's constant. And that's the problem. Real connection is none of these things. It is slow. It takes time to know someone, to understand them, to sit in silence without needing distraction. But your world doesn't allow that anymore. Everything is instant. Reply fast. Scroll fast. Move on fast. No depth. No pause. No real presence. So your brain gets used to it. It starts believing, this is enough. This is connection. But your emotions don't agree. Because emotions are not built for speed. They are built for depth. They need time to form. Time to trust. Time to feel safe. And when you remove that time, you remove the connection. Even if everything looks active. That's why you can talk to someone for hours and still feel nothing. That's why you can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. Because what you are experiencing is not connection. It's interaction. And interaction cannot replace belonging. Your mind knows this. But you ignore it. Because fake connection is easier. It doesn't require vulnerability. It doesn't require honesty. It doesn't require risk. You can stay safe. Stay comfortable. Stay distracted. But at a cost. A hidden cost. You lose depth. You lose meaning. You lose that feeling of being truly seen. And slowly, you stop expecting it. You accept surface-level relationships. You accept quick conversations. You accept less. And your mind adapts, but your deeper self starts fading. And this is where things begin to break. Because once you accept fake connection as normal, real connection starts feeling uncomfortable. Strange. Even unnecessary. And that is dangerous. Because now, you are not just disconnected from others, you are moving away from what actually fulfills you. You keep telling yourself, I'm just tired. I'm just distracted. It's nothing serious. But deep down, you know it's not that simple. Because this feeling doesn't go away. No matter how busy you stay. No matter how much you scroll. No matter how many people you talk to. It comes back. Again, and again, and again. And now, it's stronger than before. But here's the truth, you are not lonely. You are starving. Not physically. Not socially. Emotionally. Your mind is full of noise, but your emotions are empty. You consume content. You consume conversations. You consume people, but you don't feel them. Nothing stays long enough to nourish you. Everything passes through you. Quickly. Like it never existed. And over time, this creates a gap. A deep internal gap. Where something should be, but isn't. And your mind starts reacting. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But quietly. You lose interest. You lose excitement. Things that once felt meaningful start feeling dull. Because your system is underfed. You are giving your brain stimulation, but denying your emotions connection. And that imbalance is breaking you slowly. Because emotions need depth. They need presence. They need real moments. Not highlights. Not fragments. Not quick interactions. And right now, you are not giving yourself any of that. So your mind adapts. It lowers expectations. It stops asking for more. It settles. But your deeper self doesn't. It keeps sending signals. That emptiness. That silence. That strange disconnection. It's not random. It's a warning. Something inside you is not being fulfilled. And if you keep ignoring it, it won't disappear. It will grow. Until one day, you don't just feel disconnected from others, you feel disconnected from your own life. And the scariest part is, by then, it will feel normal. You try to fix it. That feeling, that emptiness, that disconnection. So you do what feels natural. You reach for your phone. Again. You scroll. You watch. You switch apps. Something new. Something interesting. Something distracting. And for a moment, it works. You feel engaged. Busy. Occupied. Your mind stops thinking. That silence disappears. But only for a while. Because the moment you stop, it comes back. Stronger. And now, you repeat the cycle. Again, and again, and again. Without even realizing it, you are stuck in a loop. A loop designed to keep you busy, but never fulfilled. Your brain gets stimulation. Constantly. Small hits of dopamine. New content. New reactions. New distractions. It feels good. But it doesn't last. Because stimulation is not satisfaction. And your brain doesn't care. It just wants more. So it keeps pulling you back. Scroll again. Check again. Watch again. And every time you do, you go deeper into the loop. But here's what you don't see, every time you choose distraction, you avoid connection. Every time you fill the silence, you ignore what's missing. Every time you escape, you delay the truth. And slowly, this becomes your default state. You stop sitting with yourself. You stop feeling deeply. You stop noticing the gap. Because you are always one scroll away from escape. And that's the trap. It doesn't force you. It doesn't control you. It simply gives you an easier option. And you keep choosing it. Until one day, you realize, you don't know how to stop. Not because you can't, but because you don't want to feel what's waiting underneath. And that is the most dangerous part. Because now, you are not just disconnected, you are avoiding the reason behind it. At some point, something changed. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Slowly. Quietly. You started adjusting. To fit in. To be liked. To stay connected. You chose what to show, and what to hide. You filtered your thoughts. You softened your opinions. You avoided being fully real. Because being real felt risky. What if they don't understand? What if they don't accept you? So you adapted. You became easier to like. Easier to talk to. Easier to fit in. But harder to truly know. And over time, this version of you became your default. You stopped questioning it. You stopped noticing it. You just lived it, but something inside you never agreed. Because deep down, you knew this wasn't fully you. And that creates tension. A silent tension. Between who you are and who you show. And when that gap grows, connection becomes impossible. Because people can only connect to the version you present. Not the one you hide. So even when someone is close to you, it doesn't feel real. Because they are not connecting with you, they are connecting with your mask. And your mind feels that. That's why you feel unseen. That's why you feel misunderstood. Not because people don't care, but because they don't see the real you. And here's the truth, you trained them that way. You taught the world how to see you. And now, you are trapped inside that version. A version that keeps you connected, but never fulfilled. Because real connection requires real identity. And right now, those two are not aligned. So no matter how many people you talk to, no matter how many conversations you have, something will always feel missing. Because you are present, but not fully there. And when you are not fully there, nothing feels real. And this is where disconnection becomes deeper. Because now, you are not just disconnected from others, you are disconnected from yourself. At this point, you might still think, this is about people. About your environment. About your situation. But it's not. The problem is not outside. It's how you connect. Look at your life closely. You are always available, but rarely present. You talk, but don't open up. You listen, but don't fully feel. Everything is happening, but nothing is landing. And slowly, you created a system that looks like connection, but feels like distance. Because you chose comfort. Fast replies, safe conversations, no risk, no depth. You avoided silence. You avoided vulnerability. You avoided being fully seen, and in doing that, you also avoided real connection. Because real connection is uncomfortable. It takes time. It requires honesty. It asks you to show parts of yourself you usually hide. And you didn't want that. So you replaced it with something easier, something faster, something safer. But here's the cost, you lost depth. You lost meaning. You lost that feeling of being truly understood. And now, you feel disconnected. Not because no one is there, but because nothing is real enough to reach you. That's the truth. And it's hard to accept. Because it means, this is not happening to you. You are participating in it. Every time you choose distraction, every time you avoid depth, every time you stay on the surface, you move further away from real connection. And the more you repeat it, the more normal it feels. Until one day, you stop expecting anything deeper. You stop looking for it. You stop believing it exists. And that's when disconnection becomes permanent. But here's the real question, if the problem is not people, and not your life, then what exactly needs to change? So maybe, you were wrong. Not about your life, but about the reason behind this feeling. Maybe, you were never truly disconnected. Maybe, you were just connected in the wrong way. Fast, easy, safe, but never real. And now, your mind is reacting. Not to punish you, but to wake you up. Because that emptiness, that silence, that strange disconnection, is not the problem. It's a signal. A signal that something deeper is missing. Something real. Something human. And the moment you understand this, everything starts to change. Not instantly. Not magically. But clearly. You begin to see your patterns, the distractions you choose, the conversations you avoid, the version of yourself you keep showing. And for the first time, you start questioning it. Do I really want connection, or just comfort? Do I really want to be understood, or just accepted? Because you can't have both. Real connection requires risk. It requires honesty. It requires you to show up as you really are. And that's where most people stop. That's where they go back. Back to distraction. Back to noise. Back to safe connection. And the cycle continues. But now, you see it. You understand it. And once you see something clearly, you can't unsee it. So the question is not why you feel disconnected anymore. The real question is, what are you going to do now? Will you go back to the same patterns? Or will you finally choose something real? Because the truth is, most people never go deeper. Most people never fix this. Most people stay exactly where they are. But you are aware now. And awareness changes everything.